right, party people, welcome to day one of your return to exercise journey with Jules. I'm Jules. We're going to start today out like we're going to be starting every day out with some connection breaths. So hopefully you have watched my video on connecting with the pelvic floor and the pelvic floor breath. If you have not, all good, you can keep going. But if you want some more insight onto how to do that pelvic floor breathing, please refer back to that video. All right, so optional small towel, optional soft surface to sit on. You can be on the floor, you can be sitting in a chair or on a couch. Ideally, it is something soft, at least the first couple days of practicing this. I have something soft, but I'm also just going to show you how to place a towel in between your legs. Get your sit bones out of the way, so the bony part of your pelvic bone, so you can feel connection with something soft at your pelvic floor. So that tissue between those bones is our pelvic floor. It should not hurt, so please don't go sitting on something hard. Something easy is best here, because we want to make contact, conscious contact, without pain. If there's pain, not because of the object, that is totally different. All right, so I'm going to close my eyes, roll my shoulders back and down away from my ears. I'm going to put my hands, just for your viewing pleasure, you do not have to do this as well, one at my diaphragm, one down my pelvic floor. It's not actually at my pelvic floor, but this is my interpretation. As we inhale, we are going to feel the air come down as our diaphragm drops into our abdominal cavity, and we're going to mindfully release and relax that pelvic floor down onto our soft surface. And as we exhale, lightly draw that pelvic floor up, and all the air comes out of our lungs, so our diaphragm raises as well. So inhale, relax pelvic floor. Exhale, light 20% effort squeeze. Inhale, relax. Exhale, light squeeze. Two more. Inhale, relax. And exhale, light squeeze. All right, open your eyes if they were closed. Or maybe they're open because you're watching my hands. Take that towel out if you were using it. And if that wasn't enough for you and you definitely need to practice that connection more, again, please review the video. All right, just a way at the beginning of class to make sure we are saying hello, pelvic floor muscles. We know you're there. We want you to turn on and help us out. And we want to be able to relax you when we don't need you. So we're talking to them through that pelvic floor breathing. All right, now let's get down to our mat, and we're going to do a couple of cat cows and then some hip pulls. So we're going to be on all fours on our mats. Our fingers are outstretched. We're pushing away from the floor to start, so we're just in a nice neutral spine position. My knees are under my hips and my wrists are under my shoulders. Then I'm going to drop my belly button, pull my head up and look forward. And when I come back into my arch, I'm going to start with my pelvis tucking under and then rounding one vertebrae at a time, bringing my chin down to tuck. Looking towards my belly button. Awesome. Pause there. And then again, pelvis tilts. One vertebrae at a time into an arch, looking forward. When we do on the breath, we can exhale as we arch, tuck the chin, and inhale as we arch. The other one was round. Look forward. One more time. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. And it really doesn't matter which one you're exhaling and which one you're inhaling. It's just all about being mindful on that breath. And if you so choose, you can do the pelvic floor breathing through this cat cow as well. So inhaling, releasing the pelvic floor, and exhaling, lightly giving it a squeeze. So advanced move here right after the bat to bring that breathing into your cat-cow, warming up that spine. Awesome. All right, so back on to all fours. We're going to do that hip lift on each side like that we were, again, doing in that pelvic floor video. This is just a way to stretch that pelvic floor muscle out. So again, we're starting in all fours, nice neutral spine, lifting one knee off the ground, just using the hip to lift the knee off the ground. I'm not actually opening my hip, that joint, or pulling with that joint, not with our leg muscles, not with our feet muscles. The joint is just pulling that knee off the ground. And I'm going to look down and see how high I'm able to get it, again, without opening up all the way. So I'm not here, my knee's staying down. I'm just pulling that knee up. And we're going to do a couple on both sides. Switch back and forth, maybe 3 or 4, a couple times on both sides. Oh, feeling that nice stretch. You may feel this in different places depending on where you may or may not be tight on that pelvic floor. And then we're going to come down to the ground for an open book. So some nice easy stretches on this day one, just to get our body moving if it hasn't moved for a while, or very likely it hasn't stretched for a while. So I'm on my side, my head is nice and relaxed against the ground, but I am stacking my knees, my hips, my ankles, and my hands. So I don't want to be shifting away. I want to stay stacked, so when I twist, this is going to be more of a spinal twist than anything else. So again, if I let those knees slip, woo, sure, I can go all the way over, but I don't. I want to keep them stacked. So only go as far as you can, opening that chest and getting that nice stretch across the mid-back and low back on the spine as your mobility will allow you, while keeping those knees together, and then bring it back in. Again, on the breath, if you wish, inhale, twist yourself open, and exhale, back together. Again, inhale, open. Oh, pause at the top, feel that nice stretch, and bring it back down. We're going to do one more. Did I say one more? I don't know, one more. And bring it over. Let's switch sides. We'll do 5 or 6 going the other way. If you want to slow these down or do more, if these feel awesome to you, please pause the video and do as many as you want. Checking in. Stacked, stacked, ankle stacked, hand stacked. Good. Keep those knees together. Inhale, twist, pause. Hello, plant. Exhale, back. Oh, yes. Number 3. We'll do 2 more. And last one. Awesome. Back together. All right. Bring it on up. We're going to come to a stand. Do some toe and heel walks. All right. So picking up our toes, maintaining a nice posture without bending at the hips. We're going to walk on our toes. Depending on how much space you have, let's say like 20 to 40 steps total, or back and forth the length of your yoga mat one time. So when I say good posture, there is no perfect posture. It's just a good neutral stacking of the head over the shoulders, over the ribs, over the hips. Keep that spine from doing any weird things, your hips from doing any weird things. So again, it's not perfect. It's going to look a little bit different for everybody, but we really are avoiding the slouch. We're avoiding the curve or the weird, like, bending of that torso. So I'm just, whatever is neutral, natural to stand here. Again, shoulders are back away from my ears. My chin isn't jetted out. The head is right over shoulders, right over ribs, right over hips. All right. And then lifting my toes, staying in that nice neutral position, and just walking across my mat. This is all part of a warm-up that will make sense once we get to our main attraction today. Yes, 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 yes. Awesome. Same thing, but up on the toes. Push them as high as you can. Tiptoe, tiptoe. Trying not to let those hips move side to side any more than is necessary. Oh yeah. Get those calves warmed up. All right, awesome. Woo, yeah. And last little bit of a warm up today, we're gonna do a nice balance exercise. So all of my weight is gonna be rounded down into my right foot. I'm going to slowly bring up that right knee. If I need to, I can keep that toe down as like a kickstand and just put the majority of my weight on the other side. So depending on how your balance feels, feel free to put a toe out. No big deal. But as you advance, you can bring that knee up and you can bring those arms up overhead. Shrug those shoulders down and exhale. Nice, solid core. We're going to balance here for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close your eyes. Woo. All right, and set the feet down together. Awesome. Eyes closed changes things, doesn't it? All right, other side. You're running all the way down through our right foot. I think I said the right and left correctly there. The other foot. And slowly bringing that left foot up or kickstanding it if you need to. Arms come up overhead. Exhale. Drop those shoulders down. Rib cage stays down. And we're holding 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close your eyes. Awesome. And release. Lots of balance work coming your way in the future. I did not mention this as we're doing it, but when you close your eyes, did you feel your toes go grip? If you did, we want to try to relax and release those. You want to splay them out. That weight should remain in the midfoot, and we shouldn't be getting into that toe gripping happening. All right, and here we go into our main workout. So day 1 through day 8, our main workout is going to be 10 minutes continuous of 4 different exercises. So after I push go and the time starts ticking down, it's up to you on how quickly you want to get through those exercises. So if you can get, lots and lots of reps and rounds in, if that's what you're feeling like, awesome. If that's where you're at, or you can slow it down, work on form, and go at a pace that you're more comfortable at. I'm going to be starting out by showing you the exercises as we go when I start the clock. So it's going to start out maybe a little bit slower, and then I can vary the pace. So if you want to follow along with me, great. But again, please feel free to change your personal speed on this to match where you're at this time in your return to exercise journey. So real quick, you're going to need a weight, either a water bottle, a dumbbell, don't have to show you, or a kettlebell, something that you can hold overhead for a fairly extended period of time. A weighted water bottle is great, something you can grip. So that is our weight to start out. We will need a continuous band. And then you will also need something to sit on that is ideally right around a 90 or slightly higher than that. So if you have something lower, maybe you can put an extra pillow or blanket or something on it, because we're going to do some sit to stands on something sturdy. Just make sure it's not going to kick out from under you. All right, so give you a minute to grab that equipment if you need to. Pause the video, and then we will get going. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Starting out with an overhead hold high knee march. So whatever my weight is, I'll show you both versions. Starting it in the front rack, bend the knees to pop it up overhead. So you should have a weight that you can hold here with locked out elbow. And we're going to march in place, being really mindful to not march side to side, but trying to keep, remember, just like in our warm up, that good stacking of shoulders over ribs over hips, so my ribs stay down. I'm not letting them flare. I'm keeping the arm locked out. I'm marching for 20 per side. I'm not counting. So let's say that was 20. Bring that weight down safely to the front rack and switch it at sides, bend in the knee, pop it up, straight arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which if you times 2 is 20 total. If you want to do less or more, by all means, my reps are optional. They aren't a make or break it. So if you want to do more or less than 20 total, up to you. Sit to stands. I am finding whatever that sturdy object is, and I'm sitting first, trying to get a 90 degree in my legs so my shins are vertical and the weight is staying in my midfoot. So I want to avoid coming in here on my toes. My heels need to be down, as much vertical shin as possible, arms out, pull those shoulders back, trying to stand straight up from that position, again, without rocking forward or bringing my knees forward or my heels back. And then I'm going to sit back and down to that sturdy object of choice. Hips go back and down, slow as I can. Sit back again, so I'm nice and upright, and stand. Nice and slow down, touch, sit back, stand. All right, I think that was 3 or 4. We're doing 6 to 8 of these. So go ahead and get going. If you haven't already, I'm rattling my water. And down. I'll do one more. Again, 6 to 8 is the count, depending on how it's feeling for you. Arms are out, just keep your shoulders back. If they get tired, drop them to your sides. Not a huge deal. All right, coming over to our band. Our third exercise today is going to be band hold to your chest. So I'm going to loop mine behind me. If you have a thinner band, you can double it up, like so. If it's a thicker band, you can put half behind you. Arms are straight out in front of you. Ideally, they're at or a little bit outside shoulder width. If you have to hold way out, maybe it means your band's a little bit too tight, but that's your only option. That's your only option. All right, and then we're going to think about squeezing our shoulder blades together behind us, keeping our wrists straight. We're going to pull that band all the way to our chest and back out. Pull the chest and back out. And back out again. Straight arms, squeezing my shoulder blades. I'm not doing this. I'm not cocking my wrist down. Pulling those wrists out, thinking about squeezing my shoulder blades together and my shoulders down away from my ears. I'm doing this for 8 to 10 reps. And as I squeeze behind me, I'm not leaning forward. I'm keeping that rib cage down. I'm making sure my glutes and my abs are on. All right, awesome. Moving on to some heel slides, and then we're going to start back up at the top. So, heel slides, I am on the ground on my back, on a nice soft surface. Feet are planted firmly in the ground to start. You do want to have a little bit of resistance here, so you don't, if you have socks on a smooth surface, it's going to feel a little bit easier than if you have something a little bit grippy. Arms are going to be straight up in the air. I'm going to drag my heel away from me, and I'm going to drag it back. Oh, I need more space. There we go. So drag it out on purpose. I'm going to focus on these low abs. Exhale, squeeze those abs as I draw my heel back in. Socks are coming off. So out, inhale, exhale, squeeze to center. I'm focusing on these lower abs. I'm using that resistance, using that drag to get the tension in these abs. I'm going to stay on this one side, squeezing in for 5 to 6. And then other side. Inhale, drop that heel, exhale, drag it in. Focusing here. Inhale, exhale, squeeze to center. First 3 or 4. I'm doing 5 to 6. I'm pretty sure I got it on that. Oh, awesome. So there's my round 1. If that pace was okay, follow along with me. If you want to get going with it, by all means, pick it up. All right, literally pick up your weight. I'm going to show you with a water bottle this time. So here's my front rack, a little bit in the knee, pop that weight up, having it right by my ear. It's not out here, it's right by my ear. My rib cage is down, and I'm marching. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There, I counted every one that time. That was better. Other side, reset, pop it up. Straight arm hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. My water is slashing around as well. Whew, okay. Awesome. We have just under 4 minutes left, so we're well over halfway. Break as you need to. Get water as you need to. I might be talking fast, but it doesn't mean you have to be moving fast. Back to my sit to stands. Starting in the seated position, making sure I'm solidly grounded down through my feet. Core is on, lower body's engaged, arms out, standing straight up. So again, I'm avoiding coming in here and leaning forward to stand up. I want my chest back and standing straight as I can. Sitting those hips back nice and slow back to my target. 6 to 8 reps. I'm most always going to give you a range of reps, by the way, because again, there's no magic one. We're just trying to do a low to moderate intensity, nothing crazy. And here's my band pulse to chest from the front, shoulders down, rib cage down, pulling that band apart, squeezing my shoulder blades. I did 10 that time. Here's one more from the side. Just to get that visual. All right. Bend down, back on the floor from some heel slides. Looks like we've got 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. Arms up. Oops, sorry, heel slides. If you do want to add a little something to this on this next round, drag the heel down, opposite arm goes across. It's going to give an extra stretch across that core, a little more stretch on that lower abs, forcing them to work a little bit harder as you pull them in. And you can alternate these or stay on the same side. Inhale out, exhale, squeeze to center. We'll stay on the same side. This is one, of course, like any other ab or any exercise in general. If you want to pick your chin up and check in, make sure you're not getting any hard doming, or just know what your abs are doing in general. You can watch them, you can feel them. Check in with yourself, know your body. Know what it's doing and how it's responding. It is a wonderful thing. All right, 2 rounds I've got, and I got a minute left. Let's see how far I can make it. Coming back to those overhead hold marches. I think I'll do my kettlebell again this time. Bring it at that front rack. Bend the knees, press it overhead, lock out that wrist. 1. Making sure I'm not moving my torso too much or my hips too much when I'm marching in place, trying to keep, again, stacked. Head, shoulders, hips, ribs, hips. Don't know how many that was, but I'll go ahead and switch so I don't lose too much time. And overhead, go. I have 20 seconds left. I'm going to go ahead and move on to my sit to stands and get in one more round of those. Sitting back and down, tapping on stand. Good and controlled on the sit. I'm not flopping down, I'm controlling myself down. Oh, and there's my bell. Awesome work. But don't worry, we're not done yet. Warm up, workout. Last thing we have is a little bonus. So one bonus exercise for us today on day 1. If you're like, nah, I'm done. Well, good, you can be done. Stretch it out, call it a day. I am very happy that you're here and proud that you got through day 1. If you would like to do some glute bridges with me, go ahead and come to the mat. We're going to be rolling our shoulder blades slightly into the ground so that we have some stability in our shoulders. Our feet are planted firmly on the ground. We're going to tilt our pelvis back and roll One vertebrae tying up to a bridge. I'm not overextending here. I'm stopping in a nice straight line from my knees to my shoulders. And then I'm going to exhale and roll myself back down. Inhale, roll up, squeezing the glutes, pausing at the top, and exhale, rolling down. I do want to be mindful that my knees stay in place. I don't want them to splay open. I'm over exaggerating that, but even like slightly try to keep them almost like you're squeezing your knees towards each other. They probably won't touch anyways, but squeeze them towards each other as you come up, and then exhale, bring them back down. We're going to do 10. I think that was 4. Exhale. Excuse me, inhale up, exhale down. Or vice versa, whichever one feels okay for you. But our focus here is on glutes, a little bit of hamstrings, wiggle those toes to the top, and exhale down. Keeping nice and stable in the shoulders. There is definitely some core working out here as well. Don't know how many that is. If you're doing anywhere from 8 to 12, you're doing awesome. I'm going to do one more. All right. We're going to do 2 sets. So in between my 2 sets, I'm going to do some windshield wipers. So I'm just going to let my knees fall, side to side. Getting a little hip love. Letting them stretch. Being thankful for my body, grateful it can move. Happy that I have carved this time out for myself today. All right, and last one. Back to center. Re-engage shoulders, feet, core is on. Inhale, raise. Pause, exhale, lower. Inhale, raise. Pause, and exhale, lower. Okay, I don't have to say that anymore. Let's just go. I'm going to do one more. Awesome. And a few more windshield wipers. And then we will end our day with some stretches. 2 more stretches. We've been stretching in the warm-up. We're stretching now. Love it. Let's get a few more in before we're done. All right, so staying on our back, bringing the left knee into our chest. Pull it in, extend that right leg straight. You can pull that knee towards your midline or towards the outside, but working that hip girdle out a little bit. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. Don't let them crunch up. We really want to avoid neck tension. We have enough of that holding babies. So keep that neck all nice and loose. And let's switch sides nice and slow, being mindful about it. You may or may not have remembered this in my pelvic floor video, but postpartum, we tend to have lower estrogen and progesterone, which means our muscles and our joints are likely a little more stiff than normal. So be gentle with yourself. Do these stretches and move around with intention. Loose shoulders, loose neck. Just giving a little pull with the lower arms. All the feels should be through that hip. All right, and full body extension, point the toes, arms up overhead. Big reach and stretch. And then we'll roll over onto our bellies. We're going to make our way into a down dog by coming through all fours, tucking our toes under, pushing the hips up and back, and pedaling this out. So I have my head through my arms, nice straight line from my wrists to my hips, but I can bend my knees as much as I need to, and then I'm going to drop one heel to the other, getting a little hip action in there, but again, being really mindful about keeping that spine nice and straight. And then I'll walk my hands to my feet or my feet to my hands. So I'm hanging in a forward fold, meaning my head and my neck are just loose and goose. A little bit of bend in my knee. I can do a little bit of a sway. Shake the head or swirl the head around. Slow and mindful, especially if you do have a stiff neck. I mean, you want to let it just hang here, but if you're moving around too much, just be cautious about that. And then we're going to slowly roll ourselves up to a stand, straight legs, and then the spine, shoulders back, head back. Reach up to the ceiling. Oh. Awesome. Yay! I hope that felt good for you, and I'm excited to see you for day 2. See you soon.